Good morning, guys. Right, getting this video out earlier today because there's a lot going on and I've been writing out my thesis for the day and some of it's already starting to play out. So I'm going to use this as the opportunity to narrate my thoughts and give you an idea on where the market's going to go. Now, we got a big move yesterday on Bitcoin following this video playbook. Like we do every day. If you were watching the video, you knew how that play was easy and how it was on and the things we were looking for. The day was super low on volume as well, actually. It was very surprising. So it was a bit of a grinder. I was in it from 230. I originally tried to short at 93. We started failing, breaking down, and we started pushing back up. And I was just trying not to sit through any drawdown, so I closed out. And then I actually re-entered later on. I think it was around about 6 p.m., something like this, around 93,300. I've got the P&L thing up on the screen that I posted. I'm just under the, I'm on my recording screen right now, so you can see what the entry actually was. But yeah, then we actually slept on it overnight with a stop at break even once we got into a bit of profit, and yeah, banger move that we woke up to. And again, that was just following the steps in the playbook. It's super simple, guys. That's why I'm doing these videos. And if you're following these videos and you're not making money, you need to have a word with yourself, because you're either trading terribly or you're just not locked in. So lucky. Right, well, anyway, getting into today. So we've had this breakdown through our levels here. We've got a couple of day-side imbalances at the top here, which we may come back to look and retest, which is why we've still got the zones there. And from this morning already, this red zone here, we've started to make an imbalance on the 4 hour. So what I'm expecting now is, or what I was expecting before making this video, was a bounce off our green zone, which we can see here. And that's what I was writing at the time, and then it's happening. So I'm thinking, okay, by the time I've written this, it might all be out of date. So let's get into it. Expecting now in the short term trade between these zones. We can even trade back into this here. Again, all of this will make more sense once we look at the order flow in a minute, but right now we're just trying to look at the high time frame, get some context of where we might go in the day, and then we'll get into the detail on the order flow. But essentially I'm expecting a trade in between here, some chop. If we do start to push back into this zone, we do have our low volume node here at 91,882. Where I'd expect us to look to reject, or people will take profits, etc., etc. But right now, we want a trade essentially through here, using this as support, using this as resistance, most likely. We are at this very important part here, though, where we've got huge support here, right? So we have to keep that in mind, that this is going to be a great place to find our support, trade within, and do something similar to what we did here, right? I think these will be the highest probability plays in the short term, because like I say, I can just expect something similar to what's happened here to happen here again. And we're already starting to see it on the 4 hour chart already. Now, I put this purple line in here. You're probably wondering, what is this? This is our next zone where we can look for a wick. You see these wicks here? This could be a banger trade here. If we start to see this green zone not hold and the low volume node not act as any form of support, we could see a big wick down here. This would also be the monthly value area low, which I'll go into in more detail when we look at the order flow. But it would also make sense that we could sweep this and potentially even sweep some of the liquidity here at the daily buy-side imbalance here, where the low volume node is right at the top. We could even come down here for a quick wick and flash, and then start to come back here and do something like this. Of course, once we're down there, we can look to break down and just, it's Jova. But that's the point of these videos. No one's got a crystal ball. No one knows exactly what's going to happen in the future, but we just have the plays in front of us of, if this happens, this is likely to happen. If this happens, that is likely to happen. And we're prepared to take a trade either to the upside or the downside. And it's as simple as that. These are our levels. If they don't hold, this is where we're most likely going to go to, and trade accordingly. Okay, so now moving on to the order flow. Here was the trade from yesterday. You can see we were kind of flat throughout the day. We topped here, we struggled to break again, we struggled to break again, we struggled to break again. We finally struggled to break towards the end of the day, and then we start to see capitulation. Once we see the capitulation and the retest of the second standard deviation, we come back up, try to break through the VWAP, fail. We're getting sort of stuck around there, and then we just capitulate and come down as people start unwinding their positions. So what does that mean for today? Well, as you can see, we're massively in a downtrend now. So we're right before I was making the video, this is what I was talking about on the other chart, that we would come back and retest this daily low that we made, you know, again, not even too long ago at this point. But we're trying to carve out a daily low here. We bounced a couple of times, and I was about to write that I'm expecting that we'll come up to test the daily value area low, which is where we're at. Now we want to see a break above this to get any sort of bullish momentum, but this is where I emphasized looking for the reversion model as opposed to trying to look for up only. So what I'd like to see here is a test into the VWAP, which I could think is, let's see if people are not getting supported, because look at the trend so far. Okay, we broke above it here, but hit our head, hit our head, hit our head down, hit our head down. We come up, we're just struggling this whole way, right? We're getting up and we're failing to have breakouts. So in the short term, if we are looking to break through this daily value area low, hold this as now a little bit of a local floor, pushing into this VWAP, pushing into this daily point of control. You have to bear in mind though that we're so early in the day that all of these levels will change. Things like the VWAP, the point of control, etc. As more volume comes in, but the thesis remains the same regardless. Pushing into these areas of resistance, looking for sellers to step in or buyers to not be getting rewarded for their efforts, and playing the reversion. And essentially where I see it going from there is, let's say, you know, we push up into here, we trade back into probably the daily low and retest, have another go at supporting it, and if we do continue to break through, we'll push through to that monthly value area low, which was the purple line that I showed you on TradingView, which is why I put it there. These will be the highest probability plays, but again, I do want to emphasize we're still very early in the day, so we need to pay attention to how, you know, the price action develops. Because if I start to see over the next few hours things like this, test of the lows coming up, 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 and we are really starting to carve out a bottom here. Okay, if you go back to TradingView, you can see where we're looking to kind of build out that zone, right? Similar to the accumulation pattern that we had before the last pumps, right? We could be looking at something like this. And there's nothing to say here that we can't carve out a bottom and continue to the upside. What I'm telling you is that I think the highest probability plays are looking for these short-term pumps and just fading them. And that's basically it, guys. I'll leave more updates as the day goes on. I'll be posting in the Telegram. If you're not part of the free Telegram, it's the first link in the description, join. I'll drop the plays in there, I'll drop thoughts in there as the day progresses. You can also follow me on Twitter as well. That's the first line in the description. And yeah, and if you want to get these videos every single day, ideas on where to go long, where to short, what the best plays and the highest probability plays and trades will be for each individual trading day, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and put on the notification bell. Because then you're going to get alerted as soon as I upload this, and the information is going to be as fresh as it possibly can be. So it puts you in the right mindset going into the trading day and knowing where the best available plays are. But other than that, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you in the books.